There is little value in opposing the threat of a closed society by imitating its arbitrary restrictions. Even today, there is little value in ensuring the survival of our nation if our traditions do not survive with it. And there is very grave danger that an announced need for increased security will be seized upon by those anxious to expand its meaning to the very limits of official censorship and concealment. That I do not intend to permit to the extent that it's in my control. For we are opposed around the world by a monolithic and ruthless conspiracy that relies primarily on covert means for expanding its sphere of influence, on infiltration instead of invasion, on subversion instead of elections, on intimidation instead of free choice, on guerrillas by night instead of armies by day. It is a system which has conscripted vast human and material resources into the building of a tightly knit, highly efficient machine that combines military, diplomatic, intelligence, economic, scientific, and political operations. Its preparations are concealed, not published. Its mistakes are buried, not headlined. Its dissenters are silenced, not praised. No expenditure is questioned, no rumor is printed, no secret is revealed.
We Are Change with host Howard Nema, exposing the collectivist global elite's Malthusian quest for a new world order. A one-world dictatorial government where all aspects of human life are under their control. Truth Talk Radio, where news the mainstream media ignores is the top story and your voice is heard. We Are Change, Fridays from 1 to 3 p.m. and Saturdays from 3 to 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Hosted by Howard Nema. Only on informedradio.com. That's NFORMD radio.com. Tune in, call in. We must be the change we wish to see in the world. We Are Change with Howard Nema. Fridays 1 to 3 p.m. and Saturdays 3 to 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Only on informedradio.com.
Good afternoon, this is Howard Nema, and you're listening to We Are Change on informedradio.com. And with me is Vinny. Be the Truth. From We Are Change, Connecticut. We are both, of course, founding members of We Are Change, Connecticut. And Vinny's here to assist me in the endeavors of spreading truth about all of the things that everyone who listens to Informed Radio, the informed listeners, many of them, of course, already know this, but we always try to get through to the people that have not really taken this information to heart. Today's show is going to be very important. We're dealing with vaccines. Now, there's a lot of controversy about vaccines. Isn't that true, Vin?
Yeah. Whether, a lot of people believe what they're told by their doctors, and unfortunately doctors and dentists and other people, they only know what they're told out of a book or what someone else told them, not through their own research. And without any research, they believe what they're told, and that's why dentists think fluoride's good for your teeth, and why a lot of doctors think vaccines are good.
Very true, but isn't it also true that, like, the collectivist organizations, these corporations, the New World Order that controls the mass media and all the publications, such as Rita Zelvier, who owns all the publications Lancet and writes all the medical books, publishes all the medical books, certainly leads to one to understand why doctors would believe what's in the books that they're taught in school, wouldn't they? And the journals that they read, like the Lancet and Cell, and take that to be truth. And wouldn't they even demonize their own people, like Dr. Wakefield, who first they write this great article about him, and they publish this article, and then of course they take his medical license away because he said that he was lying about the MMR, but of course he wasn't lying about the MMR, but then they don't write it that they discredited him again, that he was credited. No,
Yeah.
they leave that out, right, Vin?
Hmm.
It's unbelievable.
Also, we can't forget about how much money there is to be made by companies like Merck and I forget all the names of the companies. They're all
Merck,
hidden.
Merck, Pfizer. There's a lot of them.
There's a lot of money
a lot
for
of
them to be made. I know, like the Gardasil, I think is maybe $220 a shot or something like that, and you're talking about millions of shots.
It is a profit motive type thing. You have to, you really have to see the light. You know, you have to see the light, you just look up in the sky and look at the chemtrails. You see, there's a chemtrail going across the sky right there. You know, there's vaccines and other things. So see, you know, just like I could point this thing, and you gotta point to the light and point it out and say, this is it. Okay? See the light. Everybody, open your eyes. Okay? There are chemtrails in the skies. There are vaccines that are causing all sorts of neurological problems. And no joke, for those that are watching on livestream.com /Truth Talk News, look at all of this documentation of doctors. We're going to be talking about doctors, physicians, who are on record about the dangers of vaccines and that they've changed their medical opinions on them once doing this research. So what we're trying to do is to have all doctors. In fact, if you're a doctor listening right now, particularly Dr. Jason Perkel in Torrington, who I've had many conversations about this, thinking that he just thinks I'm absolutely insane when it comes to this, and he thinks I'm dangerous, ladies and gentlemen, for telling people what I'm telling you. He has written posts on Facebook that I'm a dangerous. This is when you're talking about the government and the corruption in banking is one thing, but don't you dare talk about vaccines. Now you're being dangerous. Well, you forget to notice that all of these drug companies give these doctors bonuses and perks, trips, concert tickets, literally dinners all the time. And if they meet certain quotas, because they've sold a lot of drugs over a quarter, they'll get trips. And I know this for a fact because I have an insider at Pfizer who is a drugs salesman and makes $5,000 a week. Okay, and he loves it, and he could care less. He says, "Yeah, I don't care, you know, I can't." And he's heartless, literally. He just doesn't care. It's all about the money. He doesn't care. It's like, he doesn't care. He pushes all of these drugs, and the ones that they get the big bonuses on, he pushes those drugs. The ones that he gets a bonus on, and the ones that doctors do. So wake up, everybody. Medicine is a business. That's why healthcare costs are out of control, because there's criminal activity. This is terrible. Then the doctors buy stock in these companies that they're pushing the drugs for.
Yeah.
Think about that. They own positions, and they know. It's criminal. It's like
there's no money in curing anything. Also.
Exactly,
you know,
Vince.
the money is not in curing. It's in treatment. Keep coming for these pills, these shots. Keep coming in, and we keep making money.
Well, the head of the Big Pharma, National Big Pharma Association, Pharmaceutical Association, at their annual meeting, said that their goal is to, by 2025, have every American on 2 pharmaceutical drugs. Now that sounds like that's business to me. I mean, you know, that's like a sales goal. Like you're not selling like, you know, widgets here. You're talking about people's lives, and you're just talking about pumping them with drugs, many of which are just like, I mean, after all, like.
Don't we get enough in our water already?
There's plenty of things there. But it's true. And if you have any, again, I'm getting off the subject. If doctors out there, please call us in, 772-905-3018. We're live on air here until 5 p.m. This is a critical show. Please, everybody watch and listen. I'm going to be going over some incredible information, but I'm going to start with some quick news here. Death on Wheels. Now, this is what's coming, okay? This is the New World Order is a collectivist organization. That's why you have Obamacare. That's why the banks are imploding the economy. That's why the dollar is going in the toilet. That's why unemployment is going up and up and up and up. And they get 200,000 jobs are created, and it's like the greatest thing in the world. Meanwhile, there's 18 million people that are out of work. So it's just all this media attention to take you away, diversions to take you away from the truth that we are in an imploding economy that unfortunately is going to hit bottom pretty soon. And when it does, the food is going to be affected. The food shipments aren't going to arrive. People are going to be rioting in the streets. They're going to come out and get you in the FEMA camps, and that's why National Defense Authorization Act 1867 Senate bill, including sections 1031 and 1032, have been drafted, and that's why the FEMA camps are now being put into operation through KMR and other contractors, KBR, to get outside contractors to do fencing and containing the American people. This is an implosion of the economy, and then they're going to drug you down, and slowly through this. And it's hard to take, I know, it's very hard to take. It's a eugenics program. The reason is not only that they want to make money, Vin, but what else?
I'd say sedate people. That's what we got with basically Zombie Nation. You know, you just look around and to me, I'm not that old, 32 years old, but just looking back from when I grew up, people seemed like had a lot more energy. You know, besides the fighting and the aggression people had, just the energy, it was, you know, you don't see kids playing anything. It looks like a bunch of people Prozac or drugged up, and, you know, that's a good slave. That's someone that isn't going to have the energy to do critical thought or rise up, see any big picture hanging above them. You know, that's a good way to keep people as your slave.
That's true, but also these vaccines contain various other viruses and cancer.
Yeah,
and sterilizing such as polysorbate 80 and other things. But what's really happening now is, ladies and gentlemen, in the Netherlands, the Dutch government is considering plans to use mobile medical teams which would administer euthanasia to people in their homes. The units, dubbed Grim Reapers on Wheels by critics, will be called in to kill patients when their own general practitioners refuse to administer lethal drugs. So, you know, they're just loving it, the globalists, and they're doing it here now. Like, you know, everyone thinks everything on the surface looks good. Oh yeah, if you have euthanasia, that's a good thing. You know, so if you want to die, you should have the right to die. Doctors should be able to kill you. I agree, you know, personally, but you're going to get somebody, your doctor says no, and then, you know, you're going to have these euthanasia trucks to come and, you know, put you in and come and take you away in a body bag.
Yeah, well, after the person spent most of their life producing and paying taxes and doing everything for the state, once it's time for them to sit back and collect and maybe get something from the state, that's when the state turns around and says, we don't feel like spending money on you.
Well, isn't that the main reason why they had SV40 simian virus was put in the early polio shots? And it is a kidney virus, monkey kidney virus, that was put into all of the shots that were given between 1953 and 1966 or 69, something like one of those years. And to date, when people have died, 100 million people got cancer. Now, not all of them died from cancer, but they got cancer. And but the ones that died, 64% of the people that die from cancer, soft tissue cancer, the tumors, that die or get cancer, the tumors all have SV40 simian virus in them. So even if you just got like a soft tissue cancer that you got, and you were treated for it, they all have it. Just basically more than half of them have it. So it just shows you how many people were given cancer through these viruses. Dr. Hillerman went on record stating that AIDS was brought in. It's a bioweapon. Frank Olson was killed for his work with bioweapons research with the CIA, which was, of course, this is all, of course, illegal because in 1947, after the Nuremberg trials, they made that all this Mengele type shit that was it. It was an international treaty that was made, and of course we know what we do to international treaties, and in the name of liberty we'll just bomb some other country to give them some freedom. But now you have the government again saying this is evil, you can't do this Mengele type research, and we hired the very Mengele scientists and doctors to do this research for the government. The shadow government known as the CIA. Yeah,
and then there's the very dark ones that a lot of people probably never heard of, like with Tuskegee Airmen, where they shot up these men with syphilis,